up there. We go to our videos. We'll get this chat on. There we go. Well, oops, sorry, it's live right there. Trying this out for the first time. All right, so we got a little bit of everything. Oh, there we go. Ryan is our first one here. Woo! Ryan, I've got this.
Okay, so I just wanted to start off with something a little funny. Flashback time, right? For those who don't remember, that's almost 6 years ago, 5.5 years ago, the original Saturday Morning Comics show from an epic ago, it's been a hot minute.
Long time ago.
Yeah. This is my daughter, Charlie, for those that are unfamiliar, but it looks like most people in the chat, you probably know, so it's all good. This all kind of started because I was on a show last Saturday with Cliff, and Cliff was like, I don't know about this John's Comics with kids. I never see any kids. It's just a lot of John in comics. And I was like, well, I think I can figure that out. Mostly because I don't have kids as much as I have teenagers now.
Teenagers who like to sleep in late.
This is fair. I think most people feel that way, right? So I got to bribe them. I've got pastries, coffee, cake, donuts, and the like. And we'll see how this all goes. But let's say hello to our friends in the chat, Char. Firstly, I got to shout out. Perry found this live stream last night after I posted it to let people know it was going to be on. He was here. He was tailgating 12 hours ago. So impressive. We also have Unruly Simeon. What's going on, Lane? Happy Saturday to you. We got Scotty Vaughn in the chat. What's going on, Scotty? We got our friend and veteran. We got X11 Bravo with his fur babies and Liz. I hope everybody's doing well over there at your place. We got our friend Las Cruces. Where is he at? There he is from New Mexico. Hello, Las Cruces. We got JP in the chat. What's going on, JP? A little flashback time. We got our friend Whitewell Comics. What is going on, Alec? Hello to you. And we got another friend, another Disneyland friend, Michael and Riley from the Downright Nerdy podcast. It seems perfect that we got two Disneyland friends here in the chat, people that we've cruised the park with. Good to see. What's going on, Phil Ailey? How you doing, Phil? I need someone to bribe me with pastries. You guys are funny. So yeah, I wanted the kids to come and share what they've been reading, what they've been doing. It's Alex's birthday. How did my notifications on my phone are not doing their job?
I have it in my phone.
You have Alex's birthday listed?
Your calendar is linked with my calendar.
Does it give you a notification? I didn't get any notifications.
I haven't been on my phone though yet. So.
Happy birthday. You get a throwback. I'll even play a little more for you here. How about this? We'll go back to blow it up a little bigger. How's this? Let's look. There's no white hairs in the beard.
No white hairs at all.
Yeah.
Mug of
oh my god
tea just for you. It says, I'm fluent in movie quotes and sarcasm. And I thought that you would appreciate on a nice Saturday morning something in that movie quotes vein. This is supposed to be a little Saturday morning comics with kids. And the idea is that we would get together usually earlier than this.
Yeah, but I had a soccer game. So.
She had an early soccer game. So usually we would be earlier than this, and we would be able to share some of the books that the girls have been enjoying, and they can give you their recommendations, or they can give you their thumbs down review of something that they've been enjoying and reading. So we pulled together a little pile of stuff. Whitewell Comics is here. Good to see you. We are going to have a few books from each of the girls. I'm going to
yeah, there it is. Yeah, you were right there. You were in the chat. Yes, that is Google Hangouts. That is pre-StreamYard. You know what? It's funny because my man Old Wolf is coming to Southern California here in 3 weeks, and we may end up having to find a way to get over to the park again. I don't know. The girls will be in school though, so they may miss out.
No.
Yes.
School?
Oh, school
Sure.
not important. Disneyland important.
Yes.
Is that what I was seeing there? Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so there you go. A little throwback. I thought it would be funny to go memory lane now that the girls are coming back to join me today. How did that feel? Weird?
Weird. I look so little.
Disney is more important than school. That's what Perry says. We got to follow that. We got to follow that guy. He's got 100,000 YouTube subscribers and a trophy YouTube sent him. And it looks like White Whale's agreeing. We're going to take a little one for the first time in December for Christmas. Holy guacamole. That's phenomenal. Charlie knows what's important. There it is. Yeah, so the girls have been, now that they're basically to an age where they're able to watch most anything, within reason. There's a few things that are still on the like, yikes, that could be intense lane. There's a lot of stuff that Charlie's been enjoying. Is there anything in particular that you've been watching? Sorry, what is it?
Point Break.
Point Break, the original Keanu Reeves, Patrick Swayze, Catherine Bigelow directed classic. Thoughts, feelings, emotions?
It was really good.
Yeah.
I liked like the sort of mystery of it, and like you were wondering like, is he really gonna rat out his buddies that he's made?
Keanu, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he starts to like appreciate Patrick Swayze and his crew, right?
Yeah. And I like the actors a lot and actresses. I thought they did a really good job of portraying the characters. And
The actress you had seen before, her name is Lori Petty.
I saw her in League of Their Own.
Nice. Yes, League of Their Own. There you go. And then Keanu, you've seen a bunch of his stuff by this point. Speed,
Matrix, John Wick.
John Wick. She's seen some John Wick. Parenthood when he was like really young.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
I haven't seen that.
You still haven't seen that? I thought I showed you that. Maybe I just
I
showed
think
your
you showed
sister.
Kate.
Okay. Maybe we need to watch that. That's a classic one.
Today?
That sounds like a winner. I'm
And then I make
definitely
my
in.
cookies.
Oh, you got to make some cookies. Yeah. All right. League of Their Own is S tier. That's why we're saying it's really great.
Why is S tier like higher up?
I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know the root of that. But yes, League of Their Own is a great movie. Really, really good. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got Lori Petty. You got Patrick Swayze. You got Keanu Reeves. And then his partner, Keanu's partner, is Gary Busey, who's in a lot of stuff. He's the bad guy from Lethal Weapon 1, the one that Mel Gibson fights on the lawn,
yeah.
does the whole like karate fighting on the lawn. Mr. Joshua is what they call him.
Mr. Joshua.
He's like the bad guy. That's Gary Busey. So, but now he's like older. Obviously, he's the like partner character.
I liked their dynamic in the movie.
Yeah, the two
Keanu,
cops. Yeah, and then Dr. Cox was their boss at the FBI.
Yeah, he was so
from
cool.
Scrubs.
He's one of my favorite actors, even if I've only seen him in 2 things.
He's been in a lot of stuff, and I'm struggling to remember his name. It might be John C.
It's
John C.
John
McGinley. John McGinley. John C. McGinley. He played Dr. Cox on Scrubs, and then he was the head of the FBI in Point Break. But he's in a great Vietnam War film called Platoon. He was great in that. But he's been in a lot of things. He usually plays like a smarmy bad guy in a lot of stuff. Ooh, we got Sheena. So y'all need to get over to Melanin and Manga because she's got a giveaway going. You can win some prizes. And I'm going to throw in a mystery box to their prize wheel. So I'm going to give away something too. But all you got to do, you got to follow them on Instagram, and you got to follow Sheena over on here on YouTube as well. Leave some comments on their latest video and check in on their Instagram. Leave some comments and share their new post. But you can win some great books to read, win some manga, and support Sheena Ninja. So why not do it? Get over there and be a part of the Melanin and Manga crew. You want to, you know what, Sheena? Just for you. We'll do a little bit more of this. Look at that, Sheena. That is the original episode of Saturday Morning Comics with the girls. Let's see if I can push play here. Ugh.
I'm going to be just sort of sitting here moderating, get a little comfortable here, not really doing anything valuable as usual. And hopefully we'll have a good time exploring the things they've been reading. Does somebody want to share a couple of the things you used? The girls set up a little display here behind us. Kate's gonna-
Okay, Kate can go first.
Kate's gonna go.
Well,
You gotta speak that way.
we set up Kylo Ren,
Mhm.
the life-size one Charlie got for her birthday.
Well, let's not say life size, but certainly big.
And then we got this little Barbie dog who has little babies.
I don't know if you guys can
Oh,
hear it. I hope you
Cute
can.
dogs, yeah.
And then we have a Wonder Woman riding on a horse that we have.
Wonder Woman on a horse, always valuable.
And then we have Mjolnir.
Yeah, we've got the Thor's hammer sitting there still.
And then we have 2 action figures here of Batgirl
Uh-huh.
and
I just thought it just flashed me back a little bit. Just took me back a little. Definitely life size. Definitely life size. We got Beckerman in the chat too. Didn't say hello, Beckerman. He says Gary also plays the crazy guy on a reality show that he's on. Yes, in his life, Gary Busey is a bit of a crazy man.
He was.
But yeah, he's wild. Okay, so anything about Point Break you want to share? Anything you liked? How did the surfing look to you? I mean, actors playing athletes is always going to be tricky because they're not always going to be skilled at it.
I liked the skydiving parts.
The skydiving,
That was so cool.
I-
I want to skydive.
sometimes you could tell when it was the actor versus the stunt person, right? Because they had certain
But
stuff.
you said Patrick Swayze actually did it.
He did a couple of jumps for the movie, including that shot of him where you see him jumping out of the plane and you can see the ground below. Like he does some of the actual stunts. I don't know how many Keanu actually did. They may have trained him on some, but a lot of he was doing was the wind tunnel stuff where they blast a fan underneath you and you can like hover in the air and there's cushions all around and they can get the camera right in close and get the close-ups and the performance the way they want.
Mhm.
So some of those stunts some of them were faked, some of them are real, but none of them were CGI because it was pre-CGI days. The early 90s, I think it was like 1990, 1992, somewhere in that range. All right. Skydiving was cool. Lots of good twists and action scenes.
I liked the ending too, when he lets him go into the waves
Oh, yeah, sure.
and the police get mad at him.
And he just throws his badge into the water like that, just that dramatic cop moment. It gets labeled as something of a cheesy movie, that everything is a little bit overly dramatic. Like when he can't catch Patrick Swayze and he just shoots the gun in the air in anger. Like he shoots all these bullets up into the air and everybody's like, where are those bullets going to come down? I don't know. Those kind of like overly dramatic performance moments. But I feel like those moments work for me. They don't bother me.
I don't like that Gary's character died.
Yeah, basically everybody dies, right? The Lori Petty, Swayze, and
All
Keanu
of
are the only.
Swayze's friends.
Although Swayze doesn't necessarily live at the end. 91, because I almost chose it for my year I turned 13 movie. Oh, good Lord. There it is. 1991. So I said 90 or 92, and it was right in the middle. There you go. But yeah, classic movie. So I'm glad you liked it. How does it rank with some of your other favorite action movies? What are some of your faves?
Fast and Furious 1.
You like the first Fast and the Furious?
Because as they get older, like as they get not older, sorry, the newer ones,
Yeah,
like they get more CGI'd and
they get
less,
more
like, real.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Right.
and that kind of ruins it for me. But
It's funny
first
because
one-
Alec feels the other way. He likes it when it gets more ridiculous. He
I
thinks
do.
it's kind of just silly and fun when
But-
that runway goes on forever and they can have like a 15-minute car chase on one runway.
no, I like it. But if I'm ranking with other action movies, I'm gonna go with the movie that's more like real action.
Quote realistic for an action movie.
Yeah. Mission Impossible,
Mm.
all of them.
All of them. Do you have a favorite among them? You can enjoy all of them.
I like the one where with all the cars, and he falls and he presses with his broken arm on the button.
Yes. Okay, that's the one with the Burj Khalifa where he climbs on the
Yeah.
outside. That's one of my favorites too. That's
The one that nothing works.
Yes. Yeah. I can't remember if that's Rogue Nation. It might be Rogue Nation. That's a really good one. Oh, we got 2 new friends in the chat. We got Rican. What is going on? Rod, happy Saturday, my man. He's been dropping some great shorts. He got some great new Hot Wheels. You should check that out. We got Gore Vidal in the chat. Thank you, Gore. He sent me a movie. And Gore, I've never seen Wanda before. So he sent me this movie called Wanda, an indie film. So I'll have to check that out at some point and to let you know what I thought. He says, Convoy and Smokey and the Bandit were my childhood Fast and the Furious films. Okay, so a Fast and the Furious. You got a little Mission Impossible. What is up, Dan? What is
James
going on,
Bond.
Dan? Ooh, do you have a favorite Bond film?
Anything with shoot, I know his name.
I know you do.
Um,
I'll be patient. I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. Because you've seen him in a lot of stuff. You've seen him in Untouchables. You've seen him in Hunt for Red October, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He is your favorite Bond. I agree.
my favorite person, him and I can't focus on other people. I need to focus on his name.
It sounds like my name. In fact, he played a character named John Connors in a movie. But his name
Sean Connery.
Sean
Okay, yeah.
Connery.
I was
yeah.
like, I know there's like a sh sound somewhere in his name. I was like, where is it?
Yeah, he played a character in a movie called John Connor. But his name is Sean Connery because they had written that character for him when they wrote the book, and then he played the character. What's up, Las Cruces? He's back. Yeah, so any of the Sean Connery ones. I'm a big fan of the earliest ones. So like From Russia with Love, Dr.
Oh, that's a
No, Goldfinger, not member. I like a lot of those early Connery ones. They are cheesy, but they're kind of fun. But I'm also a big Daniel Craig fan. I think his first one, Casino Royale, might still be my favorite one,
I
period.
really like Daniel Craig too, but
Oh,
I
there
like
it
the
is.
older ones.
My favorite Bond film is Casino Royale, and it's not really close, but Connery is the best Bond. See, I basically just said that. There it is. There it is. Oh, yes, and Finding Forrester. He was great in that. That was a good movie. Gore Vidal mentions.
And
So you'd pick a Bond film, maybe. Okay.
trying to think of other action movies. I guess you count Avengers, Marvel.
Yeah, certainly a lot of the Avengers films would be, and comic book movies tend to have a lot of action. I'm surprised I haven't heard about your favorite. You probably count it more as a Christmas movie.
Die Hard. I was thinking about that one.
I mean, that is an action movie all the way. Terry from the Bronze Page. Happy Saturday to Terry. What's going on, sir? He says, I think Goldfinger is his favorite. Yeah, Goldfinger really holds up as just a fun, kitschy, early Bond film. It's just a lot. I mean, it's ridiculous, but also like very entertaining. Okay. Those are good. You've also seen a couple other things lately. Anything else you want to talk about that you've been watching, enjoying?
Friends
Oh yeah, we're on season 4
already.
of Friends. So just watching our way along. We just recently had the Thanksgiving episode where Chandler was trying to apologize to Joey and he got put into the box. So he was stuck in a box for Christmas in the living room with one little air hole, and he could stick his finger out, and Joey wouldn't let him talk because Chandler kissed Joey's girlfriend. It was very entertaining.
And then started dating her.
Now he's dating her. Yeah, now he's dating her. Very entertaining episode, though. I always like the Friends Thanksgiving episodes. Are always very funny. I find them very entertaining. Arnold. There's a lot of great Arnold movies, and Charlie has seen a bunch of them.
And we just saw that other one, right?
True Lies. We just watched True Lies not
That
too
was a
long
good
ago,
one.
and you really enjoyed that one. I feel like you like Arnold movies. I think you're a fan because you've seen Predator,
Batman.
right? What's that?
Batman.
You've seen Batman and Robin. I don't know that I would count that one right off the bat, but I got you. You've seen Commando, where his daughter got taken.
Was he in Terminator?
Terminator 1 and 2. Well, and a lot of the other ones too, but we haven't gone past that. What else have you seen from Arnold? Kindergarten Cop, not exactly an action movie,
I like that one.
but that's a really good one. And you've seen Twins with him and Danny DeVito as twin brothers. You've seen that one. The comedies you've seen. So you've seen a fair amount of Arnold movies. You haven't seen, there's still some great ones we haven't seen.
Did you see at the Oscars when Danny and Arnold were matched up again and they made the Batman joke?
Yeah, they were talking about Michael Keaton being Batman, sitting there, and how Batman defeated them because they were both Batman villains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's funny because they've done 2 movies together. Yeah, I don't know if she's ready for Total Recall yet. That's one of his more like intense graphic kind of ones. But that's a great movie.
Which one's that one about? So I recognize the name.
The concept of that one is it's far in the future, and he's married to an actress named Sharon Stone. They're a couple, but he's not super happy with his life, where he just goes to work every day and does whatever. And he sees this company as a commercial called Total Recall, where they can give you a vacation in your mind. You go in, they put this thing on your head, you go to sleep, and you can live out an entire vacation that you want to live. And you don't even have to be you. You could be somebody totally different. And then you wake up and hardly any time has passed, and you pay them for this experience, right? A vacation from your life. So he mentions wanting to do it to his wife. His wife gets very upset. I don't think it's a good idea. That's dangerous brain technology. You don't want to mess with. He finally decides to go in, and he does it. And they offer him a package where he doesn't have to be himself. He could be a spy, and he could live this whole life and do this whole thing. And he could have a different woman that really loves him and all this kind of stuff. So he agrees. And just as he's going under, all of a sudden it seems like the machine's not working right. And he wakes up, and they're like, no, it's hard to know what's real and what's fake. If this is all part of the package he paid for, or if it's real. And the mystery of it is like, what's real? They make it sound like, oh, somebody's already like done something to his mind. They've already changed his memories. Like, we can't go in here and mess with things. It's already been changed. So he's like waking up, and he was a spy. And this woman who's his wife is not really his wife. There's another woman, and she's on Mars, and he's got to get to Mars. And, there's all these like people hunting and trying to kill him. But is this what he paid for, or is this real? And that's the movie. That's the concept. They based it on a story by Philip K. Dick, who also wrote Blade Runner, called "We Can Remember It for You Wholesale."
He likes to write futuristic books.
You got the entire synopsis in real time. There you go. Tried my best. They remade it recently, and I heard it was not good. But I don't know. Maybe Dan feels different. I have not seen the original one. Or the sequel. So yeah, okay, some Arnold movies. So you're watching Friends, enjoying Friends.
Easily.
Any favorite characters?
Oh, Chandler, easily.
Chandler fans, okay.
Always has been, always will be.
And the thing is, you guys know that he ends up with Monica, so you're kind of enjoying whenever he's got scenes with Monica, like, ooh.
Pre-Mondler. That's what I've heard they call it.
So it is kind of funny because you're still in the phase where they haven't even started like admitting they like each other.
No. At the beach house, we find out Phoebe's mom is actually alive.
When he pees on her.
Yeah.
When Chandler pees on Monica.
Yeah.
Because she gets bit by the jellyfish or stung by the jellyfish.
But before that, remember, he kept asking like, "Oh, what? How would it be? Like, why would it be so bad if I was your boyfriend?" And she was like, "Well, this and that." And then he kept asking.
Yeah.
And that was kind of.
Yeah. Or when she was going through her breakup with Richard and he was kind of taking care of her a little bit. There was some nice moments between them for sure. Okay. Any episodes you particularly thought were funny or enjoyable or that stick out? I know we're kind of binging it, so it's hard to like zero in on one episode or one moment.
I liked the first Thanksgiving one.
When
The
one where Rachel's trying to get on her ski trip, but everybody's having Monica make special mashed potatoes, and then they lock themselves out of the apartment and everything burns. She burns all the potatoes.
Oh no, I was talking about the one where they play football.
Oh, that was not the first year. That was the first year because she was dating Paolo and going on a trip with Paolo. Yeah, that one was maybe the second or third year where it's girls versus boys for football.
Oh yeah, then they win, or they don't know who wins because they both just
because the Gellers are too competitive. Ross and Monica can't stop being competitive, right?
I also like the episode where after Rachel and Ross broke up, then got back together, and they break up again, and she's like, "Oh, I just hate to think about how those sleepless nights are gonna get thinking of me." And then he's like, "Oh, I won't have to worry about sleeping. I still have your letter."
Yeah, and then she does that like, "Oh, we are so over," and he goes, "Fine by me." He's a great, I think, underrated performer. David Schwimmer really does a lot of good performances.
I keep seeing like clips like that scene Whenever I'm like scrolling on social media, I always see it.
Clips from that
Yeah,
breakup.
and it's like this is one of the best scenes in Friends.
It's very
and
funny.
I really like that scene.
I think your daughters are older than when you started. Well, you know what, Ian? You know what? I can prove that you're right.
Oh my god.
Let's do another little clip here. It's maybe Charlie's turn to share something.
Spider-Woman.
Mhm.
And then on the side,
You gotta look that way.
I set up Batman with Wonder Woman, with Ray, who I also got for my birthday, and a Kermit.
That's Kermit the Frog.
And
I made
Stewart, and I decided to get those guys too.
Okay, so we got some cool decorations. Los is here. Good to see you, Los. Yeah, totally life size. Yeah, Kylo Ren is totally life size. So let's dive right in. I know that Charlie wanted to share. Was Charlie, were these yours? All right, Charlie wanted to share these. Which one do you want to do first? Okay.
What are you going to share, Charlie?
This is a Powerpuff Girls
Powerpuff
issue
Girl.
number 16 that Charlie's been reading. Tell us about that one, Charlie.
Well, I like it because it's a really cool superhero.
Oh, couldn't quite hear you.
And I like it because it's a really cool bad guy. And I like the colors.
Uh-huh.
I like it they added a lot of white, and it really shows on the cover. It really shows how they're all tangled and how they're all like really.
They're getting attacked by that girl.
Yeah.
Do you know that bad girl's name?
Yeah.
Sedusa.
Sedusa.
All right. Nice.
Oh man, there you go, folks. There you go, Ian. You're younger than 2. Yeah. There's none of this gray white beard stuff. Yeah.
Oh, my hair got a lot longer.
What are you gonna do? Nailed his role in Band of Brothers, which I don't know which actor you're talking about. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about David Schwimmer, who plays Ross. He was on it's more of a miniseries than a TV show, but Band of Brothers covers this group of soldiers in World War II, and it follows them from when they were first getting trained onto how to be a soldier. And Ross is their commanding officer. He's their training officer. And then they go all the way through World War II and all the important parts of fighting the Germans in World War II. So yeah, he's got a great role in that.
Is David Schwimmer still alive?
Yeah, they're all still alive. Oh no, sorry, Chandler's not still alive. Sorry. Has Charlie gotten to the game show episode? My favorite, Name That Grandmother. There's a competition between some of the boys and some of the girls. And so Rachel and Monica versus Chandler and Joey.
I don't know if I've seen that
It's a
episode,
great one. I don't
but
think
I've
we're
seen
there
a clip
yet.
from it. I've
That's
seen
a
a clip
great
from
one.
it, and they go back and forth. And I don't remember who wins,
It
but
might
I've
be this
seen them
season.
go back and forth.
Yeah,
and
that
it
might
was
even
really
be.
funny.
There's some great stuff in 4 and 5, so I'm looking forward to it.
One of the questions was like Chandler asked Joey, he's like, "What was Monica's nickname when she played soccer?" And Joey goes, "Big fat goalie."
That's accurate.
And then he goes, "Correct."
Powerpuff Girls, awesome, right?
I still have that comic.
Yeah, Ian, you're somehow the one that's avoided all this aging stuff. John got that distinguished Sean Connery aging thing going on. Ages like Gimli. Is that David Schwimmer? Is David Schwimmer still alive? I know. Well, I was, obviously it's tragic. We've lost one of the friends already. You would not assume that one
Do you
of them
know
would
what
pass
I would
away.
have given to meet Matthew Perry? Like, oh my gosh, I would have given my kidney. Both of them.
Just to meet Matthew Perry?
Yeah.
Why is that? Just because he's so funny?
Yeah, he's like awesome.
Well, I got an autographed script. That's all I can give you. Signed by the cast. Sorry.
Blue Blazer Black.
Blue Blazer Black. You got my Blue Blazer Black.
You messed it up. You're stupid.
All right. So Friends, you're watching. Point Break, you're watching. What else? Anything else that's high on your list you want to mention?
Just like True Lies is really good.
Yeah, like True Lies a lot.
Oh,
You had seen Jamie Lee Curtis in some stuff because you saw her in Halloween.
Yeah.
As the
Scream Queen.
the young Scream Queen in Halloween. What else had you seen, Jamie? Oh, you saw her in Freaky Friday. Did you see her in Freaky Friday where she switches
Multiple
with Lindsay
times.
Lohan?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Gets her hair cut, gets her
Yeah.
belly button pierced.
Yep. So you had seen Jamie Lee in some stuff before, but this was the movie that kind of like brought her back into being like a sex symbol, woman, as opposed to like the young girl she was in a lot of her early movies. Obviously, you got Arnold in that. You got Tom Arnold, his partner, his
He was
funny
funny.
buddy.
He
His
was
funny
pretty
buddy. I'm trying to think of who else really had a great part in that. But that's a James Cameron joint. So
Mhm.
that's like the guy that did Avatar and Terminator and, big movies. Titanic. Oh yeah, Fish Called Wanda. You've seen A Fish Called Wanda. Jamie Lee Curtis is in that.
I don't remember that
That's
one.
the one where they're stealing the diamonds in England, and she's like seducing all the different guys to try to make sure she gets the diamonds in the end, but she starts falling in love with one of them. It's very British.
Are you
film.
sure you didn't show that to Kate?
Maybe I did, but I know I showed it to somebody.
I've never heard of a movie called The Fish Called Wanda.
It's very funny. Very, very funny. We need a kidney. There it is. If you can somehow help Charlie meet Chandler, even though he's passed, we'll get you that kidney, Charlie says. And we're back to True Lies with Arnie. We're back to Arnie. Yep. There's another show you've been watching.
Oh, House?
We've started. It's on Disney. And I know Charlie is a big Sherlock Holmes fan, and we've talked about Sherlock Holmes a lot on these morning shows. Big fan. Ken is coming to kill me. Yes, very funny. House is basically a medical version of Sherlock Holmes. Obviously, you have Holmes and House, and you've got Watson and Wilson. So there's definitely some subtle layered connections there. But obviously, also each episode is him and his team solving a medical mystery, right? What is trying to kill this patient or trying to harm this patient, and then solve that medical mystery. How are you feeling? I know that there's been a couple episodes where you're like, oh, that's gross. That's just really too gross. Medical stuff.
I like it. The only thing that's been bugging me is I looked up the age differences between Cameron and House, and it's like at least 20 years or something.
Yeah, because she's a medical student,
and I'm getting
ultimately a young
vibes that
doctor.
she has a crush on him, and I'm getting a little worried.
Yeah, it's a little bit, but it's more like she has this need for a really important father figure in her life. You can kind of get the sense that he's collected these broken people. You look at Cameron and you look at Chase and you look at Foreman.
I have beef with Foreman.
All of them, though, have these backgrounds with some trauma in them. And I think House is a somewhat broken man himself.
Oh, 100%.
So he's collecting people around him that he views as that other people might view as broken, but that he views as it allows them to be better doctors because they understand what it is to be broken. Now, I think for her, she likes House because she feels safe with him, that he's got her back and will support her. And so for her, there's this like fatherly thing going on there that I think that's more what you're feeling. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have romantic feelings for him, but I would argue that they are misguided.
Mm-hmm.
They're not true love kind of things. JP's heading out. He's got to run. He says, good to see you, Charlie.
You're going to miss Kate.
Yeah, because Kate's coming next. Kate's sleeping a little bit longer, but she will join later. Yeah, if you haven't seen House, I highly recommend it. If you're a Sherlock Holmes fan, I think there's definitely some fun things going on there for that. There's more stuff to it, obviously, than that. And if you're not into medical procedurals, and it is very repetitive, I will absolutely double down on this idea that it's one of those shows that more than any other, each episode is almost identical to the next. Weird patient comes in. House doesn't want to deal with it. House has to take the case. He thinks he knows what it is. Patient almost dies. They try something different. Patient almost dies. They try some new thing. They have to break into the patient's house. They rummage around in their house. They find some secret that they had kept from them. He hears a patient downstairs, and that clicks something in his mind. And then he solves the case, saves the person, and moves on. It's almost always that way.
I thought of another show.
Another show. Okay, well, let's finish this one first. All right. House is the hero the VA needs today. You ain't wrong. But he wouldn't do it because, he's just like, it has to be an interesting and unusual case. He doesn't deal with the typical normal stuff. He's too busy like shredding people because they always lie to him, right? Patients always lie. For me, I really just want to get Charlie to a specific episode that is not like that doesn't follow the pattern. In the first season, I think it's called 3 Stories. It's like the second or third to last episode of the first season. It's the one that I think they won the Emmy for writing for. It's just so good. Overall, the show can come and go. You get great episodes, you get average episodes. Overall, it's really, really good because the actors are all really good. But that episode, 3 stories, I'm trying to get us to that one. But we got a lot of ways to go because we've watched 10? And I think there's 24 in the first season.
It's the 21 episode.
Of his team of 3, is there a favorite character you like? Because you got Chase, who's the Australian.
Mm-hmm.
You got Foreman, who's the
Yeah.
African American, and then you've got Cameron, who's the young lady.
I think Cameron and Chase.
You like Cameron and Chase? Now there's a little love thing there too. You can
I
see
saw
he's
that.
crushing on
I
her,
saw that and I was like,
but
I like that
she's
way
only got
more.
eyes for House right now
What, she
because
could
she's not
switch.
ready for an actual relationship with someone her age because she's in that place,
Mhm.
right? You can see it.
But I do not like Foreman right now. I have a lot of beef with him
Why is that?
because he was so cool in the first 3 episodes. He was
Mm.
the coolest guy ever. He was just he was smart. He was figuring stuff out, and then somewhere he became a teacher's pet and just completely decided he doesn't like House anymore.
Yeah, he's in a space now where he's definitely butting heads with House more. And
Mhm.
that episode when his friend or former teacher or whatever
yeah.
comes to visit from LA and they have a case together. But what I like about Foreman is of the 3 of them, he's the most competent doctor and is the most knowledgeable doctor, I feel like, of the 3. And Foreman is always the one that knows the right way it's supposed to be done. The problem is House doesn't usually want to do it
He
that way.
doesn't follow the rules.
So there's that. Scotty says, I used to watch House. It was pretty good. I can relate to some of his struggles. Good show. There you go. What was the other show you said you thought of?
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, yeah. Charlie's watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Really funny series looking at police officers in New York. If you haven't seen it, it's a comedy show. That's very Saturday Night Live style kind of thing because obviously some of the actors came from that universe, that world. What do you like about that show?
Everything. All the characters are the best. It's I know Kate says it's repetitive, but I don't find it repetitive at all. I think every time it's not like they have the same way of solving cases because every case is different.
Right.
Sometimes they don't solve them. Sometimes there's not even a case in the episode. Sometimes it's just trying to help their friends out. I don't think it's repetitive at all. I think every character is actually has a unique background,
Okay.
and they're all so funny, and then they all work together really well.
Sure. Nice. And then yesterday, we finished watching the first of these new Planet of the Apes movies. So we watched Rise of the Planet of the Apes. These movies are on Hulu, I think. And the new one is in theaters now. I think it's called Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What did you think of that one? I know you're a big animal advocate and animal lover, and it's hard to watch animals mistreated. And there is some of that in this first movie.
Yeah, I was more upset they made Draco Malfoy, or they made him a bad guy.
Tom Felton, the
yeah.
actor who plays Draco, has a role in this as well, and he plays another, scummy,
But
hateable
I was-
character.
I was happy with this one because not that many animals died. It was more
Yeah.
I guess all the 12 in the beginning. He puts them
The
down,
the apes at the original facility.
but you don't see that, and the
And his
other
mom.
ones, the other
The
ones
mom.
that you see die are
Yeah.
just the mom, the big gorilla Buck.
Yep.
He goes down. Some other monkey randomly you just see him.
But you were worried
Yeah.
about the orangutan, and I can't remember his name. It's not Rocket.
don't either.
Rocket's one of the other apes. But you were worried about him, and he was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought because they seemed like they were trying to really show this one ape. And
Yeah.
usually when they do that, it usually means they're gonna off them.
Sure. We got our guy Wellbore in the chat. What's going on, sir? We got Mark from Legion of Comics, one of my wrenches. What's going on, Mark? We're discussing some things that Charlie's been watching lately, and she saw the first of the new Planet of the Apes films. And I don't know if you know, but the second and third ones are both directed by Matt Reeves, who went on to do the Batman. So it's the same filmmaker. He came in to do the next 2 films. So something to think about there. Gore Vidal says he recently watched one of the new, or all of the new Planet of the Apes films for the first time and really enjoyed them. They're very effective, entertaining action kind of dramas. And that first one in particular, it doesn't have a ton of action. It's really dramatic. And the performances are very strong. John Lithgow does a great job. Obviously, Franco does a great job.
I love Franco.
Yeah.
I liked him a
Andy
lot in
Serkis
Spider-Man.
as Caesar does an impeccable job. So really good acting, right? And the next film's got Gary Oldman, who plays, Sirius Black. So it's
Oh
got
yeah, I saw him in the trailer.
yeah. So it's got an even better cast. The cast keeps getting really, really great. Such a solid franchise, quality stuff. Yeah, they're really doing good. They're a good, talented people reinventing the world of Planet of the Apes, because there was originally like 8 or so films, and they were designed so that they would be a time loop from beginning to end. You could watch any movie and follow an order, and it would get back to wherever you started. Kind of crazy.
That's really cool. Isn't that also like that other or similar to that movie about the guy who he has like his memory loss and he resets?
Memento.
Yeah, he tattoos himself.
Yeah, that movie does have a sort of circular logic to it, right? Or Tenet, has some similar styles to that too. Okay, well, do you want to swap out for sister and go finish your pastries?
Okay.
So for those that don't know, this is a little flashback episode for Saturday Morning Comics, giving me a chance to have the girls rejoin and be a part of this Saturday show. I try to let them sleep in, but today I thought it would be fun to just check back in with them and what they've been watching, reading, enjoying, where they are at, because it's been a while, and they are often sleeping or off to sports on the times in Saturday mornings when I do these shows. Gore says, regarding Gary Oldman, it will soon be the 40th anniversary of Sid and Nancy. I didn't need that. Gore, I didn't need that. I didn't need to age up like that. Hello, young lady. I feel like I'm the dentist and everybody's got their turn in the chair. Have you been brushing? All right. Are you ready for this? Watch. Hi, Kate. Take a look at that, Kate. Watch this.
Oh, Los says Batgirl is his daughter's favorite. Was that one of your favorites, girls? All right. Oh, yeah. Charlie wants to show the other. She's got another Powerpuff Girl.
This one I don't enjoy as much.
Okay, so you're saying thumbs up to issue 16, thumbs down for issue 24. What's wrong with 24?
Well, it's kind of sad.
Oh.
What do you think?
Powerpuff Girls.
Why is it sad?
Well, in the end, they try to help him because there was no reason the witch died.
They're trying to help Mojo, the monkey?
Yeah. And then he's...
Bro, I laugh for no reason. Oh my God.
I've been playing. That's our very first episode of Saturday Morning Comics. It's been 5.5 years.
Like today.
Well, I mean, it's a little over that.
Area.
A little over
That's
5.5
crazy.
years. It was October 8th, 2018.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Well, flashback.
That's crazy.
How you doing, kid?
Good.
Not so much kid?
I'm tired.
Yes. Being 16, getting into finals.
AP exams.
AP exam. Yeah, coming up. Why do they look so different, John? It looks like you must have started taking vitamins between then and now. I mean, I definitely added a lot of these right here and some of these and
Like,
less of this. I
say,
removed some of that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So how are you doing?
I'm still tired.
You're still tired?
I'm stressed. I'm stressed for AP finals and
I won't take too
everything.
much of your time. And I got you pastries as a way to say thank you. So you can enjoy some pastry as you think about because you've been watching a lot of good movies and shows and things. If there's stuff that you wanted to bring up, sister was just talking about House and Friends, which we've been watching a lot of those.
I love Friends.
And do you have a favorite friend these days?
Chandler.
So both of you pick the same
For
person.
sure. There's nobody better. Like, nobody's as funny.
Truly.
Nobody's as entertaining.
Yep.
I do really I don't like Ross so much as I like David Schwimmer.
And I
You know
made
what I
that
mean?
point earlier too. I think he's the best actor
Mhm.
in the crew. And I think he delivers consistently the most outrageous facial expressions and everything. But Ross as a character can be very frustrating and irritating.
That's how I feel with the girls sometimes too. I feel like
Mm.
Rachel's just annoying.
She can be
sometimes.
somewhat entitled, spoiled.
It's not that I don't like any of them. Like, I like all of them, but Rachel is just so she just makes such poor decisions sometimes. I'm just like, how do you not realize that would be so stupid? Like, I'm just like, oh my God.
But Phoebe,
Okay,
I
Phoebe's
love
just plain
Phoebe.
stupid sometimes, and
She
I'm just
is.
like, oh.
She can be a little spacey,
but
I
like,
love
she has some
Phoebe.
good moments for sure.
She's my favorite of the ladies.
Hi, Mama.
Oh, and here comes the cat. What's going on, Mama Cat? Oh, just coming through to say hi. Don't knock anything over, please.
Yeah, and
And she's
Joey.
And Joey, very
I
funny.
love Joey.
Obviously, the chemistry between Chandler and Joey is pretty phenomenal,
They're
right?
such a good comedic duo.
I was
So
talking about
funny.
the episode we saw recently where it was Thanksgiving and Chandler was locked in the box.
Oh my god. It's just so ridiculous. Like I was just like, God. Just his finger poking out. He's
Right?
like, oh
Yeah. I love how Joey has the most ridiculous like punishments for people.
my
Like when he tries to convince Ross that to apologize for Rachel, he's got to drink a big glass of fat.
Oh god, yeah. I mean that was just
He's
to,
like,
like
"You
make
can drink
fun
the
of him, I
fat."
feel like.
He's like, yay. Yeah, the punishments when Joey is wronged can be pretty hilarious. Yeah. Very entertaining.
Mhm.
Okay. Anything else you've been watching recently? Any movies that you've seen recently that you really enjoyed?
Oh my god, I saw this really cringy movie.
Okay.
It was horrible.
Now you use cringy. It's hard to know what you mean by cringy.
I mean, like fan fiction level. Like
Okay.
when you're reading it, you're just like, this is so poorly written. You know what I mean? There's this movie, my friend and I were like, let's watch it. It was like this new Netflix movie. It's like a foreign film. It's like
Okay.
The Tearsmith.
The
you seen it?
Tearsmith. No, I don't know.
Horrible movie. Do
Okay.
not watch it. It was just like the whole time. Can I tell you the premise?
I love it.
It's so stupid. It's like these orphans get adopted and they've never talked to each other in their lives, but they go to the same orphanage, but they're not related or anything. But so like both get adopted,
Okay.
and like one of them has like powers,
Okay.
the guy, which is like the Tearsmith,
Okay.
and it's like a bad omen or something, and they're in love with each other. It's like enemies to lovers, and
Sure.
they're living under the same household. It's just like, what? Like it's just like beyond stupid. It's just like, oh my god. I watch. I'm just like, oh my god. It was horrible.
That's funny.
Nothing good.
Okay. So
I'm
I'll
trying
stay
to-
away from that one. I know that you and I've been allowing Kate to get into some kind of raunchy comedies, and we did Superbad.
Michael Cera and Jonah Hill are so funny. I don't know who plays McLovin in that.
I don't remember that actor's
Oh my
name,
God.
but he's very funny. He did a movie with Paul Rudd called Role Models, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of that movie is Paul Rudd and his buddy Sean William Scott are like just punks, and they get in trouble with the law.
Mhm.
And they have to do community service as big brothers, where they like
God.
meet with young people that are at risk or troubled that need adult male figures in their lives and try to be like role models for them. So I think Sean William Scott gets McLovin, who loves to do LARPing, live action role play, where they like dress like wizards and they have like rubber swords and they fight.
Yeah.
It's a very, very funny
Oh my
movie.
God.
If you can imagine Paul Rudd doing that kind of stuff, I think it pretty much goes right to your mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a
Superbad.
very funny actor.
forget
He-
that Emma
McLovin is a
Stone.
pretty great. Yeah, Emma
I
Stone.
forget that.
Emma Stone's great in it. For
There's
sure.
like a meme going around on TikTok right now with her and
Uh-huh.
like Jonah Hill. She's at like an award show and she's like presenting something and then she's like, let's dance. She goes like, let's dance.
Yeah.
She's like, Jonah, let's dance.
Yeah.
And it's so
it's funny because
funny.
they both become like mega actors now.
Yeah.
Because nobody would have thought Jonah Hill would become this Academy Award nominated actor. You know, he's been working with Martin Scorsese and he's been making all these movies. He was in Moneyball with Brad
Mhm.
Pitt, and Emma Stone. Now she's like Academy Award winning Emma Stone, and she's in all these amazing movies.
Yeah.
But at that point, they were just this hilarious oddball couple in Superbad.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen Superbad, it's hilarious. It's just phenomenal.
is
Seth
really
Rogen
funny.
wrote it. He plays one of the cops, one of the two
Bill
cops.
Hader too.
And Bill
is in
Hader is
that.
the other cop. The ridiculous police
God.
officers.
It's just so like you have
Way
no
over the
clue
top.
what's gonna happen because
Never.
it's just like there's no like
Yeah.
it's just so insane.
The beer in the laundry detergent that's blue.
How about the like McLovin gets like beat up by a robber and he becomes like he gets like knocked out and he's like the hero because he like accidentally hits someone or something. Like oh
So
my
good.
god.
So good.
And the ID is the stupidest part of that movie.
Yeah.
Like
There's-
it's like
there's t-shirt-
Hawaii.
You can get t-shirts.
I know
of
it.
it.
People wear it. Like it's just like oh my
It's so funny. Hey, we got Crystal from Glitter and Duct Tape. How you doing,
Yay.
friend? You know what? Just for you, Crystal, you got to check this out. I loaded this. This is our very first episode of Saturday Morning Comics. Let's see if we can jump to Kate.
Streams at them and they start crying.
Kate's,
You
yeah.
pulled out all these are Charlie's? Did you pull out these, right, Kate?
Yeah.
All right. So Kate has been in. Oh, there's 3 of them. Oh my goodness. Which one do we start with?
What's Charlie doing?
All right. So Kate's been reading Miraculous, which is a show on Netflix,
Mhm.
right? Yeah. So you can watch. It's a show on Netflix. It's like anime style. Takes place in
Paris.
Paris. Yeah. What's this first one? Issue 5. What's that one about?
It's about a guy who gets turned into an evil pigeon bad guy.
An
It's
evil
really
pigeon.
funny. They're
Okay.
all really funny. And the 2 superheroes' names are Ladybug and Cat Noir, and I like Cat Noir.
Cat Noir is the boy, and Ladybug Girl, or no, just Ladybug
Ladybug is
is the
I
girl.
don't know how many
Really,
times
and
I correct you
actually,
guys.
I say that
cat
wrong
in
every
French
time.
means black, so it's cat
All the
black.
time.
Black cat. Because everything in French is the same thing backwards. So if you said my name, then you say John, my name.
Okay.
You know, it sounds like you're saying my name.
What's that?
Okay.
Wow.
She's telling us some. Charlie's teaching us some French.
Yeah, there's the original. Your voice has changed so much.
I
You've
know.
got, you've got a young woman's voice
A
now.
lot deeper, I think.
That was very funny.
But I just woke up and I'm kind of sick, so I sound a little rough anyway.
Sure. Blame it on that.
Uh-huh.
But it's good to see you, Crystal. How you doing? I'm glad you're doing well.
Let me look
Happy
at
Saturday.
my watch list.
I
because-
told Super Russ if you need my email, you can shoot me an email whenever you want. I gave him my email for that if you need anything.
Did you hear that Wednesday got a second season?
I assumed it would. The bigger issue is the actress not wanting to do the character forever. She wants to do other stuff.
Jenna Ortega? I don't
Yeah.
know about that.
I thought for sure Jenna had said basically she enjoyed it, but that she's worried about being typecast as that character forever. And so she's like reluctant to keep signing
Yeah.
on big contracts for multiple seasons.
Mhm.
I miss those mornings too, which is why I strong armed and woke up the girls extra early this morning to come in. Extra early, meaning they didn't get to sleep past 8:15,
Mhm.
which Kate really wanted to sleep past
I did.
8:15.
I started the show Baby Reindeer. Have you heard about that one?
Baby Reindeer.
It's like the
That-
new Netflix show.
Yeah,
It's like
I've
number
seen the
one.
trailer for it.
Creepy.
Yeah, it looks a little weird.
It's kind of like you haven't seen the show You, right?
I have not seen the show You.
That's a good one.
I
too.
just started watching though with you last year's Squid Games
yeah.
big summer hit.
That's a really good show.
We've done
I
2
don't-
episodes, I think, of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough. Like you watch it and you're just like, this is really heavy.
This is really intense.
Yeah.
That was an Auntie Julie face you just did there.
But Baby Reindeer's about it's the real man. It's a real story. Like it's a true story about being stalked. It's the real guy.
Yeah, this
The actor
woman.
is the real guy who got
It-
stalked.
I got the vibe from the trailer that he's imagining her, that he is like that. It's like in
it
his
does kind
head
of seem like that
that
sometimes.
that he has some kind of psychosis.
yeah.
So I'm curious to see if that's going to end up being revealed as
but
true
it's
later on.
like it gets really like at first you're like, I can see how this would be like a little like this could get a little crazy.
Dark.
And then
You seem to be into that stuff lately. You're
Yeah.
at that teenage, let's just see how weird the world is kind of thing.
yeah. But it gets
cool.
gradually more intense very quickly, and you're just like,
Mm.
whoa, can she not? Like she's really scary. Really scary.
All right.
But yeah, it's pretty good so far. I'm only on episode 3.
Mhm.
I started Winx, the Fate Saga. It was-
Winx, the Fate Saga.
I think
Is
that's
that
what
on
it's called.
Netflix too?
Yeah,
Okay.
all of these are on Netflix. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a bunch. It's like a school for magical kids. It's like
Okay.
basic. I feel like,
Sure.
but there's this one girl named something. I don't know her name. I don't know her name, but it's okay. But she has like fire powers and she doesn't know how to control them.
Gotcha.
And there's like a lot of weird stuff with her backstory, and like there's a lot of like weird monsters and stuff, and like I don't know, it's not that good, but I started it.
I know you have now watched it twice, I believe, but Umbrella Academy,
Oh,
and it's
so
coming. The
good.
final season's coming
Fourth
this summer,
season,
right?
yeah. 4th season.
The end. It's going to end. I know this household loves Umbrella Academy. We've all
Yeah.
seen it at least once, but you've seen it multiple times.
Mhm.
How pumped or sad, worried are you for the last season?
I'm scared. I feel like a lot of people are gonna die, and I'm not ready for that.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I I've watched this show for like a long time. And I'm like excited to see. It left on such a cliffhanger last season.
It did.
So I'm excited for the
Yeah.
new season.
The world is ending, basically. That's
Yeah,
where we're
well,
at.
the new universe they were in, like they lost all their powers and everything, and I'm like,
Yep.
what's gonna happen? So
It's a
I'm
really
excited.
creative show, and I feel like I
Yeah.
never know where it's gonna go. Like at any given point,
Yeah.
it's just like they keep flipping the story on itself, which is really entertaining. Like I really am entertained by Umbrella Academy. It's based on a comic book, for those that don't know, and it's on Netflix, right? Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah.
So they've done 3 seasons. Season 4 forthcoming. It's I believe July,
Somewhere in there.
somewhere in that range.
Summer.
yeah.
I don't know.
And in Netflix fashion, they'll probably just drop the whole season in one big go, and everybody can binge it.
I don't know. They've been lately dropping stuff in 2 parts. Like the new Bridgerton is
Okay.
coming out this week,
Okay.
and it's coming out in 2 different parts.
And I've seen that. I'm trouble remembering Bridgerton. What's that
It's
one?
like I don't know the exact time period, but it's in like the probably Renaissance era. Like
Okay.
French.
Is this like, yeah, is it in France or in England?
It's in England, but
Okay.
it's like in that like Rococo like style where
Uh-huh.
everyone has those like really fancy dresses and like,
Okay.
you know what I mean?
The Elizabethan age?
Yes, the
Okay.
Elizabethan era, and then like, but it's like a made up queen, so it's like not
Yeah.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
but it's like going through like a season for like a young woman getting married, like she's
Yes.
seeking engagement,
Yeah.
and it goes through a bunch of different characters and like a bunch of different families. There's like the Bridgertons,
I remember.
and then
now.
there's a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really
That's a
it's
good show.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of like raunchy scenes, which I feel like it doesn't always need, but it's okay.
Oh, goodness. Now, did I show you Face Off or did I show your sister Face Off?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, then I didn't show you. I'm trying to remember that because there's a couple of movies that I've been showing you that I haven't shown sister, and I'm just trying to remember what all of them they were. You can yawn. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's early. It's early. You
Guys,
haven't had your coffee
I'm
because
sorry.
you don't drink coffee unless you sneak it when I don't look.
All right. Wait, let me look through what else I've been watching. Oh, I watched that new movie Anyone But You with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
Oh yeah, I heard that was funny, but also raunchy.
Not really.
Yeah. When
Not
I watch it,
really.
am I going to be like, oh dear Lord?
It's just like a little bit like
I know you want to see the one that Jennifer Lawrence did. Did you watch that one yet?
yeah.
Where she like
No Hard
fights naked on
Feelings?
the beach.
Oh my god, I can't believe that's a real scene. That's actually her. That's not
That
even
is
like
actually her.
It's insane.
What's it called again?
No Hard Feelings.
No Hard Feelings. That was very funny and
Yeah,
very good
it's
and
really
very
funny.
well done.
It's just like you get such secondhand embarrassment from
Yeah.
everything she's doing. It's just like, oh my god.
Did you recognize Ferris Bueller
Yes.
as his dad? Because with that long hair, and he's so much older now, you know, it doesn't look like Ferris Bueller.
No, it
but
doesn't.
that's Ferris
That's,
Bueller.
that's honestly one of my top 3 movies. That movie is just
No
so
Hard
good.
Feelings, really.
No, Ferris Bueller.
Oh, Ferris
It's
Bueller.
just so good.
Better answer.
Sorry.
I
Ferris
know. I
Bueller is
love that
just so good.
Ferris Bueller ranks so high.
There's just like the first time I watched it, I just laughed so hard. Like
Sure.
it's so funny.
He's done a lot of great movies that he doesn't get enough credit for. And he originated on Broadway the play of The Producers, which I don't know if you've heard of that story.
Mhm.
Mel Brooks, who did Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein, writer, director, Spaceballs. Yeah, he's an actor as well. He's in almost all of his own movies,
Mhm.
right? He did one of his first movies was called The Producers. It's about Broadway producers trying to put on a musical about Hitler. They're doing it because they realize they're going to lose all their money if they don't have a production that is a bomb. They need it to fail, because if it fails, they get insurance money back and it'll cover the losses. So they had to come up with the most offensive, horrible musical they can put on.
God.
And it's a very funny movie. And eventually they tried to make it a Broadway musical. And Nathan Lane, who's the drag queen character in Birdcage, the Birdcage with Robin Williams, where they're like the 2 gay guys whose son doesn't want his new.
I don't think I've seen that.
No, you definitely have seen it. He's also the voice of Timon in Lion King. Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick are the 2 producers on Broadway. They performed it all. They were huge. Great performance. We got Brian LCS. I caught him this morning with Cliff and who else was over there with you? Oh, Tony from Comiverse was over there over on Cliff's show this morning. For those that don't know, the reason why I did a simul stream last Saturday is because my buddy Cliff is now doing a new Saturday show, and I wanted to support him and be a part of his show. But every Saturday now you can do back-to-back sort of shows with Cliff as far as my time, 7 a.m. and me at 8:30. These are Pacific times. So you can catch a whole Saturday set of streams because Brian is now on Sundays doing his Sunday mornings show. So be ready for Breakfast with Brian on Sundays.
A show I did start and I didn't like was Shadow and Bone.
That's based on books, and I
did
believe
not
I have
like
the
it.
first book. It's not good. It's fantasy, right?
It's just like dense. Like there's just like
Magic
a
and
lot
swords
of
and stuff?
information right off the
Okay,
bat.
uh-huh.
It's just like I didn't like it.
Okay, not a fan.
Mm-mm.
I have
don't
not
even
read
thought-
the book. It's on my shelf. I haven't
Mhm.
gotten around to it
Yeah.
because I do like fantasy books, but I know that fantasy and sci-fi can sometimes be so full of like proper nouns, like all the names for things and all the names for places and people, and they're all sort of
Yeah.
bizarre and hard to pronounce. And
Mhm.
it can be a lot of exposition and not enough character and emotion sometimes. Okay.
I'm trying to think of more.
It's all right.
Do you care if I look through my Netflix?
No, that's fine. I'm trying to remember the movie that we watched because I did put in a DVD with you recently, and I'm blanked on it. It's on the shelf in the living room.
Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, there it was. JP left already, and he was the one that recommended it, and I'm so glad you could think of it. So kudos to you, JP. When I was talking about how you're into zombie stuff these days, Walking Dead's been huge.
Mhm.
You're watching all these things. JP was like, "Well, she needs to watch Shaun of the Dead," and I was like, "Okay." So you were home with just me the other day.
Mhm.
Sister had practice when mom was out with her. I was like, "Let's put this on." What were your thoughts on Shaun of the Dead?
Ridiculous. I liked how the zombies were slow so they could kill them easier because the ones in The Walking Dead, they're still slow, but I feel like they're more dangerous.
sneak
if
up
they're
on
in
you.
like herds. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's scarier.
The problem with The Walking Dead for me is like they can't hear the zombies till they're right next to them, and then the zombies are like super loud.
my God, I know.
But
I
like
know.
before then, it's like you can't tell the zombies
Yeah.
right there next to you crawling through the brush. It's like
know.
silent.
Walking
They're like
Dead is-
ninjas until they bite your ankle.
I know. Only the first like 4 seasons are good on Walking Dead. That's it.
That's about as far as I got. The prison, and then I was like, I'm good.
It's good beyond that.
I never got
Not
to
very
the.
far, though.
I never got to the governor.
That's the last like
I never
good
got to
part,
what's
you know
his
what I
name?
mean?
What's the other bad guy who kills Glenn?
Negan.
Negan. Never got to Negan.
I never got to Negan either. I couldn't. I was just
I,
like,
do,
oh.
I don't hate proper nouns. I hate bad writing in sci-fi where they need to give you all the proper nouns.
Mhm.
That's annoying.
But yeah, Shaun of the Dead was really cool, and I thought it was fun to see Benji from Mission Impossible in something that wasn't like
Not so intense actiony, but
he plays like essentially the same like nerdy
Right.
like character that's like awkward and
so he
anxious.
started out on a British show where he and a lot of the actors in that Shaun of the Dead were writers and would make these fun sketch comedy pieces. And I can't remember what the show was called, Spaced or something like that.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I've
and they
heard of
would
that.
they would make these funny skits and things. It was not a Saturday Night Live, but it was similar in some ways.
Mhm.
So he now has made 3 or 4 films with that group, and Shaun of the Dead is their zombie version.
Mhm.
He did an action movie where he's a cop in a small town, and his partner is the same guy who's his best friend in
Mhm.
Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
And that one's like basically making fun of and paying homage to action movies like Lethal Weapon and Die Hard and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then they did an alien invasion movie called where it's basically him and his friends trying to battle aliens and make it to their pub,
Mhm.
like a pub crawl kind of a thing. So they call it the Cornetto trilogy because they all have those like ice cream sandwich cornettos and appear in all of them. And they're written and starring the same crew of people. So Hot Fuzz, there it is the cop movie. And the other one's got a really long title, so people are probably typing the longer. It's a long title, the alien invasion one.
Are these all for me?
Yeah, that's your plate. I know. That's how I got you in here with sugar, pastries, and sugar. That's a coffee crumble cake, and it was fresh baked yesterday. Yum. Yeah, the Cornetto trilogy is very popular and very funny, but I think the Shaun of the Dead is the best one of all 3. It's the most entertaining one, the most rewatchable. Hot Fuzz is fun. There's like a murder in a small town, and he's this like hard-boiled cop who wants to like solve it, and his partner is more laid back, and he's like, "No, come on, like it's just a small town. We don't need to have like shotguns and run around because it's England. Most of the bobbies, the cops, don't carry guns; they carry batons." So it's ridiculous, over the top action kind of stuff. You'd probably laugh a lot watching it because he's just funny. You know, Simon is funny.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So there it was. I'm glad we remembered the movie because I knew there was something.
Yeah.
And you got to see some fun cameos, actors all the way through.
The Office.
Martin Freeman, who plays Bilbo Baggins in the Hobbit
Oh yeah,
films,
that was random.
and he was in Black Panther and other stuff as well. Has a fun cameo. And Simon Pegg's girlfriend and Martin Freeman were both in the British office. They were the Jim and Pam of the British office. So they, it was funny to see them pass each other in that little moment.
I started watching the American Office because
where's the American Office? Is it streaming somewhere?
I have like a website that I watch that on.
I'm waiting for that and for Parks and Rec to come back around to a service that we've got so we can watch those because you guys haven't really seen a lot of those. Aubrey Plaza is amazing. Parks and Rec is more my favorite just because I like that cast.
It's so funny.
The first season is very slow. Kind of takes a while for them to all just like hone in on their performances and what they want. But once they're going, that show is funnier than pretty much anything I've seen. And I will happily rewatch it ahead of anything else. I love Parks and Rec. It's my favorite. But I understand everybody's got their preference. I know the Office fans are Office people and I don't want to mess them up. Yeah, I think they're all on Peacock right now, Mark, but I know that they sometimes bounce around. So I'm just sort of waiting. Yeah, this is my buddy Daryl. His channel is called Read Your Comics, and he's got a t-shirt now, website. I snagged this one, and there's a green one up there that says still only 35 cents. He's got great shirts. I love them. And this is his logo, and you can get it from him. So if you hit up Daryl, he goes by Read Your Comics on Instagram. He'll drop you the link and you can snag the shirts for yourself. I'm sure it's on, if you find his YouTube channel, if anybody follows Daryl here on YouTube, I'm sure a bunch of his videos probably have the link to his, I don't know if it's a Teespring, TeePublic. No, I think it's actually his own website, Read Your Comics or something, where he has you can buy his shirts. I just got them, so I'm still getting there. Still look nice and fresh, minty fresh.
White shirt.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's funny. What are you reading in school? Anything good? Any I know that you haven't been loving Catcher in the Rye, J.D. Salinger. I'm sure that our buddy Gore Vidal's got some thoughts on that. Classic literature of its time.
It's interesting. His stream of consciousness is just all over the map. Like he just jumps everywhere. Like you'll be reading. It sounds like me. Like I just realized that. I'm like, wait, God, that's what I sound like when I'm talking sometimes. But like, he'll go on a topic and then he'll switch off, which is confusing to read. It's less confusing to hear, I think. Like if Holden was talking to me, I'd be like,
you may be able to follow it with intonation. And
I'd be like, oh,
pauses
we're on that. All right.
Right.
But like, God, also it's so repetitive sometimes. He says the word phony like 72 times.
Look, I was gonna say, what's up, you bunch of phonies? How you doing? Aggressively relaxing.
Bro,
good to see you, sir.
God. I just had a Socratic seminar the other day on it, and I had to like talk about it for like an hour. And I was like dying because there's so much information. I was just like,
my memory of that book, it falls into a category of books that I feel like are very much of their time. Like The Great Gatsby, I feel the same way about it.
I'm reading that next year, I think, or senior year.
Okay. Yeah, Catcher in the Rye, and then Jack Kerouac's On the Road. They feel like books that are very much of a specific time in history, and it can be very hard to get into it because the language seems so dated that it can be difficult to kind of get into the
we got a slang like paper that she gave us.
Like to break down some of the terminology. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
What's up, Sleepy Reader? Damien's in the chat. What's going on, Damien? Happy Saturday, man. Good to see you, sir. So those books, as much as I can appreciate them, they're never anything that I want to like reread or revisit. Especially Great Gatsby, I think it's way overrated. I can't handle that story, and those people are so awful and vapid.
We watched Dead Poet Society before we read Catcher in the Rye. Yeah. And it does definitely have some like Dead Poet Society qualities.
Sure.
With like the fancy school and like the pressure and like all kinds of, it's just very,
and the young people that seem very lost because they have not found their direction in life. They don't know quite where they're going, and they're being guided so intensely by family and parents that they have been unable to find their own way.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes total
God,
sense.
that movie's crushing. Like you watch it, like that, like it's so like lighthearted, and then the end hits, and you're just like, what? Like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Robert Sean Leonard, also in House.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But we watched that in class, and we had to get a permission slip because
because it's intense emotionally. Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime you deal with unaliving, you need to make sure people are aware of what's in that story.
yeah. But people like were like laughing in my class, and I was like, you guys are so embarrassing. Like, oh my God.
You know, one of my favorite comments about that movie happens in Friends when Monica has her identity stolen. Somebody's using her credit cards and she wants to find out who this person is. And she signed up for a dance class. So Monica crashes the dance class
Yeah.
and meets this woman. And she's talking to this woman before the woman knows that
Her.
Monica has chosen her identity. And the woman says, you know what really changed my life was I saw this movie called The Dead Poet Society. And Monica goes, oh, yeah, yeah. And the woman's like, when I got to the end, I really realized this movie is
boring.
horrible.
Yeah.
She's like, this movie sucks. Just like run away from home, do some theater. Why do you have to do
Okay.
this? So
It's
it's hilarious, this woman, how she breaks down the trauma of this kid. But there's great points to be had as far as like sometimes when you're so cloistered and stuck in your way of thinking, it's hard to
branch
get
out.
beyond it.
Yeah.
And the problem that Neil was facing, for me at least, is that as much as he wants to break free and find this other lane, he can't imagine himself without the umbrella that his parents have provided him
Or like
for so long.
the safety blanket too.
Yeah.
Because they help him with a lot.
Because he could follow this woman's advice and go and just be his own person and leave his family
Yeah,
behind.
it
But
could
he's too
ruin-
scared of that idea,
Yeah.
I think. And
He's
and as a
kinda
result,
trapped.
he's trapped by that and doesn't see a way out.
Mhm.
Which is ultimately why he's feeling so powerless.
The good thing about
Yeah.
going back to Catcher in the Rye, the good thing about Catcher in the Rye is like it doesn't really have many metaphors. Like there's a few metaphors, but I feel like books that are so heavily like just like wrapped in metaphors are really hard to read because you're just
Sure.
like always having to think, oh, this has a double meaning. It's
It's
kind
the
of
figurative.
Like
You're
boring.
battling figurative language,
Yeah.
right? Trying to figure
That's
out
how I
what it is
feel-
they're saying.
That's what I feel with Shakespeare sometimes. Like when
Mhm.
he's like
Oh yeah, it's
when
all
he says
figurative
something, I'm
language.
just like, oh my God,
Yes.
please just tell me what that means in like regular English. Like it's just like
Yeah.
I don't hate Shakespeare, but I really do not like listening to or like just reading it because it's so dense and
You
like
needed to see it
confusing.
performed so that you can understand what the actor is trying to say because their body language conveys the literal side,
Mhm.
right? But the words are very figurative. It's like poetry, right? Poetry is the same way. It's all very figurative language. It's very complicated for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, great point.
Mhm.
But you've seen some good Shakespeare. We watched.
Much Ado About Nothing. we've
Yeah, of
seen.
course, Much Ado About Nothing, but also
That's one I was
we just
thinking.
recently watched the what was the Michael Fassbender Macbeth. We watched Michael Fassbender's of Macbeth, where the actor who played Magneto played King Macbeth.
That wasn't the best rendition from what I've heard, but it was
Okay.
still good to watch. Like
Sure.
it made more sense. It made a lot more sense.
I mean, it's a dense, complicated play. For
I had
sure.
my final on that last semester, and I was like, "Are you joking? There's so many possible things that could come out of that
Right.
book." I'm just like, ugh.
I just love that they gave them all the Scottish accents that they needed to have. They
Yeah.
didn't, because a lot of times Macbeth will be done with British accents, even though he's supposed to be Scotsman, and they're all supposed to be Scotsmen. Crystal says, I hated Shakespeare in high school, but I studied it in depth in college and absolutely love him now. And I had a great high school teacher for all the Shakespeare that we did. We did Julius Caesar, we did Much Ado About Nothing, we did Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet. We probably did a couple others, but like we were always doing, and we did others, of the same era, Faust and other things by other writers. But he was really great about capturing the essence of it and sort of making us feel like it was real. And of course, we watched all the films to go
Mhm.
along with it.
Yeah, lucky.
So I think that it helps as well because you do, like you said, need to see it acted versus just reading it like it's a book.
I think if I wasn't forced to read some of these books too, I would like them more. Like
Sure.
if I wasn't forced to read like Catcher in the Rye, I'd probably like it more than I do
Okay.
right now. I did really like, we read 1984, and a lot of people didn't like
Orwell.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, George Orwell. a lot of people didn't like that in my grade, and they were always like, it was really boring. I'm like, I think that was the most interesting book we've read this whole year. But maybe that's just me.
Which ones do you feel like your classmates liked most?
Lord of the Flies.
Hmm.
It wasn't.
That was a very
that
scary,
was a
hard
good
one.
but it was pretty like, oh,
Right.
like the concept was like, yikes.
Damien says the same comment. Hated it in high school, but seeing the performances changes his mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've read Macbeth. I did not like Macbeth.
It's not one of my favorites. I think you'd like, I mean, his tragedies are very tragic.
Yeah.
I like Othello the most of those, but it's because it's about, distrust and racism and betrayal. And that's the one that's about a group of soldiers coming home from war in peacetime. The general, the highest ranking one, is a black man. They call him, he's a Moor. He's from a certain part of the Middle East and Africa that has, African Americans or Africans, sorry. And his second in command, Iago, doesn't like that he has to work underneath this guy. And so there's subtle racism in what Iago is the trap he's trying to set to capture Othello. And Othello is very jealous of anyone who looks at his girlfriend anyway. So Iago sets this trap to make Othello so jealous that he'll do horrible things. And it's very powerful. I like that one a ton. And the version I saw first was Kenneth Branagh as Iago.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's the name of the parrot in Aladdin, right?
Aladdin.
And then Lawrence Fishburne from The Matrix played Othello, and he was great. I heard an interview where Lawrence Fishburne was saying, because they were on the set making this movie, and Lawrence Fishburne's like, look, he's like, I really feel like uncomfortable with all of this because I was not a British trained actor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from, the streets. Like I didn't grow up doing, Shakespearean theater. Like I don't know if I'm ready for this. And Kenneth Branagh's like, I'm just a kid from the streets of London. Like I'm not anything special. Like it's the performance, it's the character, and you just do it. And then, he was like, oh yeah, I'd see Kenneth Branagh sipping his tea with his newspaper, and then it was time to go to the set, and he'd set it down, he'd go, and he'd be this horrible villain. It's like, that's how we got into it together.
That's funny.
But great. It's a really good movie.
We also read All Quiet on the Western Front.
Which I've never read, and I've never seen any of the films.
Thought it was good. The films are they're going to be so dark.
Yes, I hear. I want to see the newest version. I heard it was great.
Yeah.
Gore says, I agree with Kate, which is why I wasn't an English major at university. I was a government major instead, read what I wanted, and hung around the English and philosophy majors as well as the poli-sci. Glitter says, Sleepy, I agree. I saw the plays in college and was able to understand them better. Midsummer Night Dreams and The Tempest are his favorites. He likes the fantasy comedy kind of worlds. I returned to Shakespeare to understand human nature and psychology. Apparently so did Abraham Lincoln.
I'm taking AP Psych next year. Did I tell you that?
No, but that's
I
exciting.
dropped Spanish to take it.
That sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Don Gustavo is in the chat. He says, have you been to the comic book store in Big Bear? I have been to the comic store in Big Bear when I'm on vacation. I'll often hit that one up. Gore, I don't know if you were here earlier. Kate went through some interesting topics like Catcher in the Rye and some other great literature. So I know you're bouncing around doing stuff today, but I think she's reading some books that I think you probably have some powerful feelings about as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I love Shakespeare because of that one teacher, and I got it at just the right time. That I think,
lucky.
I had him as a freshman and as a senior in high school.
Oh,
so he did
lucky.
he did what they called challenge English, and then he did all the AP honors English stuff later on.
So it's like close to honors. Like challenge, is that like?
Yeah, it was originally what honors was.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, you
so,
went honors English too?
Yeah. So we did Romeo and Juliet and something else, I think, when I was a freshman, and then as a senior we did Midsummer Night's Dream. We did a lot of the other, we did Much Ado About Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember when we did Julius Caesar. It was in there somewhere, but he did a ton of Shakespeare. He's great at it. Well, we're near the end. Is there anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to mention? Are you ready to get back to eating your sugar stuff?
I'm trying to think. I've been watching Criminal Minds a lot lately.
Criminal Minds, yes. That's on Hulu. Where's that one?
Hulu. Yeah.
Netflix?
I was like Hulu.
Okay.
It's like
you and sister both seem to like that. Good mysteries, kind of scary stuff.
It's good because they like wrap the mystery up in one episode, so I feel like it's pretty quick.
Kind of like House, right? It's very
I was gonna say,
repetitive
like
and
House.
basic. You get through it,
But
you like the character drama. That's what you're there for.
Yeah, but yeah, I really like it. I've kind of been bouncing around because I feel like you don't really need to watch them in order. Like it's helpful,
No,
but like you can bounce around. I feel like and get the same equivalent like experience. So
absolutely.
I like season 2 a lot. That's probably my favorite season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gustavo, Big Bear is a few hours away for us, a couple hours with no traffic. Big Bear and Arrowhead are places we like to go to get away. So we just went for one of the vacation weeks that we all had with the girls here in spring break. It got snowed on up in the mountains and it was great. Could read a bunch and hang out. We were in Arrowhead that time. We've been in Big Bear a bunch.
Yeah.
It's a fun spot to get an Airbnb and just get away. It's been great.
Mm-hmm.
Gore says, I've been packing boxes, preparing to move. Yep. Missed Kate's mentions, but we'll rewind. Best to you both. Thanks, Gore. Much appreciated, sir. We will do. I had Charlie at the first half of the show, so if you missed it, you can rewind it up. Crystal, if you want. She wanted to wake up first.
Yeah.
And Kate wanted a little more sleep time, so that's how that went. But let me play another little bit of this just to remind you all where it all started.
Fire Guy Ryan says Powerpuff Girls was his jam back in the day, so he loves the Powerpuff Girls. That's awesome. I think I seen a little bit of the show, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So we have 3 of these miraculous books. The next one I've got here is called Reflecta. Ooh, and this is obviously when you have kids reading comic books, this is going to hurt a few of you big comic book fans. This is bad for their corners. That's how those corners get all messed up.
I don't even read those.
I'll even read.
Yeah.
Bro, she blamed it on me.
Thankfully, we're not collecting them to keep them protected forever.
No.
John has the whole run of Powerpuff Girls. You know I do, Lois. It's my fave. So this one's called Reflecta. Is this a good one, Kate?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. What's happening in this story?
Well, this girl is real. She has a photo curse basically.
A photo curse.
Because every photo she's in, something bad happens and she doesn't end up being in it.
Oh
It's
no.
like a pigeon flies in one photo and her hands in one photo in front of her face.
Oh man.
So she changes into Reflecta and she makes
She's
other
like
people
that.
look like her. With this little button.
God.
She has on it.
So in this
Don't be so
miraculous
difficult on
universe,
yourself.
I know
This was 6 years ago. You were 10-year-old Kate, little
God.
Kate. When was the government shutdown? 2000 comics were non-essential. I mean, I guess you could say that. Well, thanks everyone for coming by. Thanks for Kate for waking up early and Charlie for waking up early. I don't know that I have anything else going on this weekend except chores and things around the house, but I'll be jumping in and out of chats if people
Dungeon?
need a person to join. Yeah, I'll do D&D probably Sunday night. Although it's Mother's Day. Actually, I think we're off for Mother's Day. Sunday is Mother's Day, which we didn't say Happy Mother's Day to all the ladies, all the moms that are tuning in. So Happy Mother's Day to you all you fine ladies. We are going to be, oops, sorry, I starred somebody's comment. Sorry about that. We are going to be celebrating with my wife, I'm sure. But that's about it for us. We will be enjoying our day, maybe catching a movie, maybe getting some AP studying in.
I think that's the only thing I will be doing the rest of like the next 3 weeks.
There you go. Because, yeah, you're in your last 3 weeks of school for the school year. The upcoming junior year ahead.
Yeah, I'm not excited.
But huge thank you to everybody, and we will catch you all next time.